You do not want to be the person in the hot yoga class or in the Pilates class who freaking stinks. I switched to my natural deodorant journey, as in aluminum-free deodorant, almost 8 months ago, and it has been a journey. Along the way, I have tried a variety of different natural or aluminum-free deodorants, as well as learned some different tips and tricks to just kind of keep your armpits odor-free. This is information that I wish I would have had when I started versus spending almost half a year experimenting. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So when you first switch to natural deodorant, you're likely going to kind of go through a detox period where you need to detox your armpits. Your armpits are actually a major lymph node, so a lot of toxins cycle through there. So one of the issues with the aluminum deodorant, it's really the antiperspirant that contains most of the aluminum, is that it keeps your armpits clogged up. So it's keeping those lymph nodes clogged up, so the toxins in your body are not allowed to release and exit. Therefore, when you first make the switch, you're a little bit stinkier than you will be in a month or two, but there are ways that you can help the detox. And number one, I feel like sounds the most obvious, but I'm gonna put it in here anyway, because we all know we need to drink a lot of water. And once you have detoxed, don't stop drinking a lot of water. Totally just dribbled the water down my face. Does that happen to anybody else on the regular? But if you're not hydrated, like, just reach for that water now. This is your reminder to grab your water bottle and take a big sip. When I first started, I did a couple of armpit detoxes with the clay, Aztec Secret Indian Healing Clay. If you were on YouTube in like 2015, 16, even 17, I'd say, you know what this is, because everybody was doing this on their face, everybody's putting this in their hair, etc, etc. I did fall victim to this on my face, and I don't necessarily recommend that because it's pretty intense, but I used it for an armpit detox, and at least I think it works pretty well. Have I used it recently? No, I honestly haven't used it since I first started wearing the natural deodorant, but you mix it with some apple cider vinegar. Make sure that you use raw and unfiltered apple cider vinegar. I like the brand Bragg's, and just let it do its things. It's supposed to help pull out toxins and metals. In fact, so much that when you do it on your face, etc., you have to pop out any nose ring or avoid it. You don't want it to be next to metal. The first ever natural deodorant that I used is the Native Coconut and Vanilla, available everywhere. It was right at Target. You hear about it, you see the advertising all the time. So that's the first one that I went through. I'm gonna rate all my deodorants on a scale of 10. 10 being the best, 0 being the worst. I would give the Native Coconut and Vanilla a 6. A solid 6. It smells amazing. I love that fragrance. The reason I give it a 6 is I found that with that one, I just have to reapply it 3 or 4 times during the day to smell fresh. Shower in the morning. I am switching over to being a night shower though. You guys are onto something, those of you who shower at night, but I find when I wake up in the morning, I no longer smell fresh when I'm using that deodorant either. Like, I got to run to the shower, not walk, but run. Does it smell good? Yes. Is it very readily available? Yes, and I love that, but it just doesn't quite do what I needed it to do, as well as for some reason when I was wearing that fragrance, I would get really bad, this is probably TMI, but like stains on my armpits, especially of my white clothes, yellow spots and stains, and I didn't find that with all deodorants, so I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, that happened. Oh, so I also want to talk about, this is like almost gone, but Dr. Bronner's. In the beginning, I would wash my armpits with this. Every single time I was in the shower, I'd use this to wash my armpits. It just washes a little bit more intensely than a regular soap or a regular body wash. You do want to dilute it because it's like super strong. It even says, if you actually read everything on that bottle, you were supposed to dilute this. You were not just supposed to use it straight up. Now, I don't really use it on my armpits. Maybe if I've done like a really intense exercise, I usually use it for like cleaning my makeup brushes and other things. Now I'm just using a regular body wash, but in the beginning when my body was still detoxing, that is the soap that I was putting on my armpits because it just gets everything out there. Also, make sure that you're exfoliating your armpits. Please do not wash your body with your hands. I don't know why that's a thing, but you have a washcloth or a loofah or an exfoliating glove or something to help get everything on out of your armpits. I do shave my armpits because I like a hairless armpit. I think that that does help with odor, but of course, your body, your choice, do what makes you feel comfortable. Let's talk about the glycolic acid. Everybody on TikTok was saying, you put this on, you don't have an odor. That is not entirely the truth for me, although it does help. The way that I use this, I'll put it onto one of those little cotton pads and rub it under my armpits. I will say, if you just shaved, do not not put it on that same day. Wait, please wait, because it will sting and burn. This wouldn't work for everyday use for me because I found that when I was using it every day or closer to every day, my armpits were just sore and achy. Like, it's kind of harsh for every day, but I will rub it on there maybe once a week, typically before I do an exercise class that I know is going to be a little bit more intense, especially if I'm in close proximity to other people, like a hot yoga or Pilates. I will just go ahead and layer this under my deodorant. I've actually have not really tried it without layering it under, so I can't speak to that, but I will say it just feels harsh, and it feels like, for me, if I am switching to natural deodorant, I don't want to put something else that's super harsh underneath my arms. That's just me, but to each their own. But I did want to include it because I do use it about once a week. I do think it's a good product to have, but just be careful. I don't think it is really meant for everyday use. After my first native deodorant, once I ran out of that, I ran to the store and grabbed another native. I actually grabbed two natives. We'll talk about the next one next. This one is blood orange and clove, so it's a different scent. It still smells really good to me. Actually, this one smells better than the coconut and vanilla, and for whatever reason, I will give this one a 7 or 8 out of 10 because this worked better smell-wise for me than the coconut and vanilla worked. I would still say that I would reapply it, and I still feel like I'm a little stinky when I wake up the next day. I feel like it works better than the coconut and vanilla. So at the same time as I grabbed the solid, I ran and grabbed this native coconut and vanilla, the spray, because I wanted to try something that wouldn't leave all that gunk under my armpits, you feel me? This, ooh, I sprayed it and I'm like eating it. I really haven't used it enough times to give it a super solid rating, but I feel like it's because the times I used it, I just wasn't feeling it. Like, it wasn't working as well for me. At the end of the video, I'll give my tip that absolutely just eliminates odor really well for me. So I'll give that at the end. So now I feel like I can use it. I don't know. Something about it is still not my favorite. Do I hate it? No. Do I love it? No. I'm gonna switch up to another quick tip, dry brushing. So as I mentioned in the beginning, armpits are essentially a place for toxins to leave our body. It's part of where our lymphatic system drains. And dry brushing helps regulate your lymphatic system. I aim for like 2 to 3 times a week, but essentially just before you take a shower or a bath, you just brush in circles all over your body, towards your heart, your armpit, the places of lymphatic drainage. The reason that I feel it ties in with the natural deodorant is because I feel like once you get your lymphatic system moving regularly, you're just not gonna be as stopped up, I guess, in places like your armpits. So there's not gonna be such a build up of stinky odors there because we're letting a lot of these toxins go. So I suggest including this in your routine if you're gonna do natural deodorant, or even if you're not, it's also good for your skin. Drinking alcohol. Unpopular opinion, but I found that when I go out with my girls and, you know, have a few drinks, I stink. And I think it's just because toxins, you have toxins in your body that you're letting go of. Because when I'm not drinking, I don't really stink that much. Drinking alcohol a lot less often is really helpful too if you kind of want to go on this natural deodorant journey. I also find that when I'm eating like a lot of garlic, onions, food that's delicious, but you can smell it more. So I have cut down on the amount of garlic and stuff that I add. I don't necessarily abstain from it. When I was first transitioning, I cut down on it a lot more and avoided stuff like that. Spicy food too, a lot more than I do now because I've kind of learned what deodorants work and different ways to just, you know, have odor management. But in the beginning, I definitely made a point to cut down on like garlic, spicy food, onion, etc. I mean, I'm still cutting down on alcohol just because it's not good for you. Garlic, however, is really good for you. It's all about finding the balance, but just kind of know what you eat comes out. What you have internally comes out. Speaking of internal, once I discovered chlorophyll, it changed everything. I personally kind of make myself like a little mocktail, or it feels like a little like healthy soda. I like to drink it with coconut water and sparkling water and then a little bit of sea salt and 15 drops of this. I typically only drink it once a day unless I'm adding it to a smoothie, but this has been an absolute game changer. When I drink this, I don't have odor. If I'm going to hot yoga, I make sure that I drink that before. Even if I forget to put on deodorant, I'm smelling pretty clean as long as I've had chlorophyll within that day. Like literally just no odor, no stink. Biggest life hack However, if you do not have this in your diet, I suggest you do. I know I've seen a lot of people buy it on Amazon. I don't know why, but personally, I'm really hesitant to buy any sort of vitamin or supplement on Amazon, but you can get it at any type of local health food store. I got this one at Sprouts. You can also get it at like Whole Foods, any type of food co-op, just tons of places like that. But that has really been the biggest game changer for me. This deodorant. When I first discovered this deodorant, I was hooked. I actually bought it at Marshall's is where I first found it, but I have been on their website, so you can order it online, or they also have a list of all the places that carry it. The brand is Humble Deodorant. I would give this one an 8 out of 10. When I first discovered it, I was like, holy crap, because it's so much better than the Native. It smells good too. But because you only need to apply it once a day, and when I tell you with the Native, I would wake up in the morning and I could smell myself, like I had to go run into that shower first thing. Do not make your bed, do not pass go, get right in the shower. But with this, I didn't feel that. I would wake up and I would still smell fresh, and I would only applied it once a day. So I really liked that. This one happens to be Palo Santo and frankincense fragrance too. I love Palo Santo. After wearing this for a while, it's almost gone, but I did realize that I prefer Palo Santo either in the air, in a candle, in a stick of wood, or on a man, on my man. Well, I don't have a man, but if I had a man, I would want him to smell like Palo Santo. The reason that I'm only giving this an 8, however, is it just is really, really thick. Like, you can see the white deodorant line a lot when you're wearing this, and it just, I feel like it feels thick under your armpit. They had like a patchouli one that I smelled, and I like a little bit of patchouli, but I think I'm kind of at the age where I no longer want to smell like patchouli, unless it's like, you know what I mean, like mixed into a fragrance. But just straight up patchouli oil is kind of, I don't know. But overall, when I first discovered this, I did really love it. I would potentially buy it again. However, someone put me onto these and I immediately ran and bought them. This had really, really great views on TikTok. It's the Salt Air. I got the fragrance Santal Bloom, and it's like a serum deodorant, so you can see it's all clear with this little roller ball. It's a little bit of a different formula than the solid stick. This one has worked really, really well for me, and I love the fragrance. Like, I'm such a fragrance person, and the smell of this just blends really, really well with the different perfumes and fragrance that I like to wear, and it's not overwhelming or overpowering. Like, as much as I love the Humble, the smell of the deodorant was overpowering. I even feel like almost with the Native, like I smelled like the deodorant. This is just there, but it doesn't take over against what other lotion you're wearing, your fragrance, the scent in your hair, etc. It just is settled. I would give this one like a 9 out of 10, just because if I'm drinking chlorophyll, baby, like it works so well because I don't even need deodorant when I'm drinking this. But I will say I do often have to reapply this once or twice, and it just doesn't quite have the staying power that I was hoping that it was having with the serum deodorant, but this does. This is the same fragrance. It's the same brand, the Salt Air. It's 24-hour protected. These are also both skincare deodorants. They offer like skincare properties for your armpits as well, which I think is really, really dope. This one contains salicylic acid and this one does not. This one is an AHA, but this one works better. This one to me works just as well as normal deodorant, whether or not I drink the chlorophyll. It lasts all night. It is a solid stick, so if you don't like any little bit of white mark, you're gonna have it just like you would with the regular deodorant that's white. You might have a little bit of, I'm not wearing it today, so you can't really see it, but a little bit of the white marks under your armpits. Yeah, it has salicylic acid, it has zinc, oil, brown algae, but it's talc free, paraben free, phthalate free, and obviously aluminum free. This has just been my absolute favorite. Like, I need to actually buy some more. This works so freaking well if I'm gonna go to hot yoga, because that's what I'm really thinking about it, because you do not want to be the person in the hot yoga class or in the Pilates class who freaking stinks. When I've had this, I can get away with some of the deodorants that aren't as great before I work out. Honestly, it really is. What's inside matters more than what's outside when it comes to body odor. I truly believe that. I'm only gonna buy one. If you're gonna buy 2 deodorants, I would get these to try. I did order them from Salt Air's website. I did notice last time I was at Target that they had the body wash by Salt Air, so I'm not sure whether or not they have the deodorant. I didn't peek down the deodorant aisle because clearly I'm pretty stocked on deodorants right now. If it works okay, like if it's getting a 7 or above, I'm about to use it up before I go and buy more. But overall, this is my #1 recommendation, and the chlorophyll and just taking care of your body. Do these type of things and you really won't deal with BO, body odor, and armpit odor. So those are my tips to you. I hope that they were helpful, and enjoy your natural deodorant journey. Bye.